Hi there, my name is Ray, and in the next few videos we're hoping to talk about the big picture, because I reckon in life itself the big picture is always left out and we get involved in these small little pictures which is not the full story. I don't know whether you've heard the story about the elephant, and the elephant is in this room, and the people in the room were looking at it, but 5 men who were blindfolded were brought into that room. And as they felt the elephant, one of them felt his tail, and he said, this is a piece of rope. And another felt his ears, and he said, this is a sailing ship, the sail of a ship. The third one felt the leg, and he said, this is the trunk of a tree. And the fourth one then felt his trunk, and he said that this is in fact a hose pipe. Anyway, when they took off the blindfolds, they realised that it was in fact an elephant. And I think we spend most of our lives just seeing the small picture or the part of something greater going on, and perhaps because of a lot of this stuff that's going on in the world at the moment, we're still gazing at that small part. So today I'd like to do something talking about historically how the big picture has been ignored over the years. For instance, I would suggest behind the NHS, which is in a lot of difficulty and stress, are the big pharmaceutical companies. And they have a great influence on research or on giving out the pills or selling the pills to the NHS for our betterment. Behind the climate change, they're the huge corporations. I think about 10 years ago, the world came together to set up the Kyoto Agreement, and America refused to join, partly because they would have to make a lot of changes to the corporations and the way they distributed their wares. The other one, which is on at the moment, is the collapse of the nation state, which we're not told about. Nobody talks about this, the nation state. After the First World War, we had the collapse of the autocratic monarchies. After the Second World War, the collapse of fascism. In 1989, the Berlin Wall came down, and communism then declined. And at the moment, we are coming to the end of ourselves in Europe as separate countries. All our boundaries are becoming very, very blurred. But nobody will tell you that. Nobody will say to you, look, our country is no longer just sufficient to be on its own. We have to merge with the other countries so that we would have what a lot of people don't want, probably something like a federal Europe. And what we should be doing, we should be welcoming with our open arms these people who are coming to us for a better life, because after so many years, Europe has dominated the rest of the world, and now that world is coming to us and saying, we just want to share in what in fact you took from us before. So I think it is important to look at the bigger picture. The other example I'd like to give you is about, at the moment there's so much talk about what's happening in the Middle East, and that we from the Western world in fact set all this up 30 years ago. When Iran was fighting with Iraq, Russia was supporting Iran, and the Americans and the West were supporting Iraq. And we actually put Saddam Hussein there and made him the leader. We did the same when Russia invaded Afghanistan. We did the same there, and we found that we supported Osama bin Laden with the troops and warfare and bombs, etc., etc. And then 30 years later, we killed both of them because they didn't fit into our future and our dream of what a world should be like. So you can see from that little part of the story, which all of this has happened now, majority of this has happened in my lifetime. And we've got to kind of, and it's my generation which has really in many ways to blame for this. And that's why it doesn't surprise me more recently that, we voted to exit Europe. But there's a bigger picture going on even there, that Europe itself is changing. There's a new Europe emerging, and it's going to be something which, in fact, we will not have a lot of control over, because circumstances will take us along that way. But we're also on the edge of something wonderful happening, and I'm hoping to explain this further when I do the next little tape for you, the videotape for you. But a lot of the stuff in my computer here, a lot of the stuff I have that I'm talking to you is on my blog, which you can delve into when the time is right. But I just want to say to you now, as you're listening to this, there is a bigger picture going on which is greater than all the stuff that I mentioned now, I said, which is happening deeply and deeply within the human race, and particularly among younger people.